Tell me what it means to you to have reached this.
Okay, opening for Phony People is sick because I've been listening to Why I Love the Moon for like a year and a half on repeat. That song is crazy. And actually, when I was making this album, I had like a giant like 300 song reference Spotify playlist, and that song was on there because I love it. So this is dope for that reason. Then for two, I'm brand new to Toronto. You know, I moved here this year, and I've been lucky to play, you know, like a handful of shows here, opening for Gerald Vandal, but Adelaide is my biggest one so far. So it's just baby steps, man, you know? They feel good.
How have things changed since moving to Toronto?
It's been amazing, man. I mean, I love Calgary, it'll always be home, but at a certain point in R&B, I think there's just other places to be with more opportunity. So from that perspective, Toronto's been crazy. The relationships, it's up my hustle in a big way. You're just around so many artists that are doing such cool shit. You know, should I be swearing? Such cool shit. And I feel motivated and inspired by a lot of people around me. And as a songwriter, I get to write with people that are doing amazing things that push me to get better. It's been dope from that perspective. And then from just a living perspective, this place is sick. It's sick. There's so much going on. Like, we've been talking all day about events and about curating cool things for the culture. And I feel a lot more at home. Like, I'm a Trinidadian like Jew. I'm the first generation Canadian. And there's so much culture here that you get to just be immersed in. Calgary's like amazing. It's super white. Like, it's a pretty white city.
So yeah, you come from Calgary, Main City.
Flames. What? Who's gonna say Leafs? Not even people from Toronto say Leafs. Like, what?
Why is eating on your own table important to you?
I believe that every asset has to build its own equity before it can bring in people that are gonna either make decisions or steer the direction of the course. And for me, I welcome that. Bigger the team, bigger the pie, bigger the reach, right? One day. But for now, it's really important to build like the vision that I have. And Young and Lucky is a huge reflection of who I am. As like young, creative entrepreneurs, we have this vision for ourselves, and we're not there for who knows how long. You know what I mean? Like, I bet you even like The Weeknd is still on track to get to the ultimate place he sees himself. This journey is that, and it's about staying hungry and optimistic and dealing with the lows and all of it. And I wanted to build that brand and tell that story. So that's why Young and Lucky exists, and that's why I want to build my brand through it. And then who knows what happens after that, you know?
You've actually you worked with an artist that we've had on the show before, Tyrell.
Dude, he's the man, right? Yeah, working with Tyrell was game-changing for me. I met him early last year. I started coming out to Toronto. He's one of the first artists that I started writing with. And his approach from like, cause you heard him sing like on Play the Fool. He's got this like soulful side to him, but he's a rapper, and the bars and the approach that he has lyrically is incredible. So he really rubbed off on me. We made a song called Subtle Savage together. And yeah, he's motivated me and pushed me to like dig into I listen to hip hop all goddamn day, but I learned to write like a pop artist. So it's kind of helped me like bring everything together. And songs like Vienna came because of like my session with him. You know, they came from feeling comfortable to like sit at my keyboard the same way I would to write a pop song, but think like Mac Miller or like Anderson .Paak. Like I said, being from Calgary, I really wanted to get out and get to know what life is like outside of it. So actually last year, from January to June, every Sunday or Monday, I would leave Calgary, go to either Toronto, Montreal, LA, London, Nashville, Vancouver, and write all day. I would just DM people, line up 2-3 writes a day, crush it, wrote like over 100 songs. And every Friday I'd fly back to Calgary, bartend Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, make my money for the week, and then go out. I did it every week for 6 weeks. It like caused me to break up with my girl. You know what I mean? I was sleeping on couches the whole time. I made most of Dream State on that trip, and it opened my eyes to how much is out there. And meeting people like Tyrell changed the course of my career and my art, you know? So, and now I live here. So that writing trip was kind of everything. I wrote Psycho with Delaney Jane on that trip, which was my first cut with another artist, you know? So it changed everything for me, yeah.
Is that how you came up with Rachel Green?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So I came out here, my publicist told me to go to this party, right? So I walk in, this like open warehouse. I brought my boy with me who doesn't work in music at all. And this dude grabs my shoulder. I turn around and it's this like big Suge Knight looking dude. And he's like, what's up, man? I'm Click. Are you Ruben? And I'm like new to Toronto, so I'm like, how is this guy grabbing me, asking if I'm Ruben, you know what I mean? And fast forward 4 months later, he's my manager. So I met him at this party. And later that night, there's a giant Nelly Furtado like painting in this room of her going like this. And my buddy and I were being idiots, taking like Snapchats of us going like this in front of it. And Nelly Furtado walks in. And funny enough, my buddy didn't recognize Nelly Furtado in the painting or her in person. So we talk with her for like 45 minutes and the guy that she's with, and we leave, we get their contact. I'm like, yo, can you believe that was Nelly Furtado and Hodgy Beats? And he's like, what? So I met Hodgy Beats that same night. And when I had this companion pass, because that's how I put my writing trip together. I had a companion pass with WestJet. So I would pretty much meet dope people and be like, yo, let's work. They're like, yeah, I wish, but I'm in LA next week. And I'd be like, yo, me too. I'm also in LA next week. So Hodgy said he was there, got on a flight, went to Pasadena, chilled with him. And 2 weeks later, Click hits me up. And he's like, yo, I want you to do a session in Toronto with these guys named the Kuya Brothers. They worked on Alessia Cara's record, blah, blah, blah. So go to that session, sit down, guy plays some soul chords, and I come up with like, you got that, na, 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 na. Write Rachel Green 2 hours later. And then we're sitting there at 4 p.m. like, this is dope, but it needs like more. And I texted Hodgy like, yo, are you in Toronto by chance? He's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm like, dude, come to this studio. He was 5 minutes away, so he came, wrote his verse, left half an hour later, and Rachel Green was done in a day. It was crazy.
Where do you get that drive from?
Now I get it from my mom and my brother. Like my mom, when you raise a couple boys on your own with not much money, you kind of get it done. You know, I'm privileged to be able to do what I love because of her. And then my brother, basketball in Calgary is kind of like R&B. Like it's not, you don't think of Calgary when you think of basketball. But he started a club program, and now it's the biggest program in Western Canada, and is like NBA certified. It's an AAU program now. It's crazy. So he built his dreams, and he's like the most go-getter of all time. So he inspires me.
If you could go on tour of anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead, Michael Jackson for sure. Like, can you imagine a session with him? He would not let you leave until it was perfect. That would be crazy. But my favorite artist ever is Kanye. The records that he produces, if I could do a record with Kanye West, I could hang up the jersey the next day and be like, I did it, you know? But then I wouldn't, because then the song we would make it be fire, and we'd have to see how that goes.
What is the last song you listened to on your phone?
The most recently, okay, here we go. Oh, I listened to that Post Malone album, Hollywood's Bleeding.
Favorite track on that?
Circles, Tame Impala wrote it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, Tame Impala wrote and produced it, and I just saw Tame Impala in Montreal at Osheaga last month, and now I'm like addicted. Yeah, he's so sick. Also the Tom Misch discography.
Yes.
That is just so good, you know? Yeah.
So that's your best dad joke?
Yo, I didn't have a dad growing up.